mati juga kan jangan. Ini man. Ambil man. Lari man. Lari man. Lari man. Jam. Oh yang ini. Mana dia? Ini mah. Oh tren juga. Ambil.
Hello, mic testing 1 2 3. Hello.
Ya. Nangis dulu jangan nangis yang.
Let's go.
भाई ये चीज चाहिए. मरते
It's cool.
जा रहे हैं? कौन है? ठीक है.
I'm with you, honestly. I won't get at least one elimination. One team that was able to glow in this last match, being able to keep all their 4 players alive, none other than Ulf, Natura.
Oh, finally. You said it, right? We're finally getting a play where we actually have all of Ulf still around, still here to fight for the end game, to fight for that chicken dinner coming on through. Yeah, really, really nice to see. I mean, yes, they didn't have to contest it too much. They had 1 or 2 fights in the mid stage of the game, OG more notably. But then they were able to just hold their position, wait for the right time, and then once that time struck, Max, they were all over that final circle.
Yeah, I mean, really able to get himself some good presence at the end, keeping 4 players alive, which is my
Match
biggest issue with them since
ranking,
PMGO Season 1 in Jakarta after this year. And you know what? They're able to finally get it done. I told you, they're a slow starting
high
team. We're getting to the
elimination
finals.
points.
We're finally starting to see these more
Thrive
dominant
यार.
finishes from Ulf, but second place.
4 thrive ना सिर्फ यही
I
चीज
got
ही
second
उठा
place
रही
role,
है.
but you know what? It's good to see that once they do get out of the hot drop 7.
OG ने
they
देखो
put up
3
big
पॉइंट तो
points.
वहां से
They
उठा
did
लिए
put
हैं
up
ना.
those big points. Talking about big points here for some teams, it was none other than Godlike and OG. This was a match that they really needed laced because the middle of the pack teams were eliminated very early on. They needed to be able to catch up, but they were only able, both teams were
यार
only able
मेरे
to
पास
catch
लाइट है
5
बट
points
वो
apiece.
बहुत ज्यादा
I
हो
mean, look, it's
जाती है,
still a
ओवर कर
great
देती है.
improvement from them, and being so, they had like that kind of control in the middle of zone, so they were there for that early rotate. I would have liked to sort of see, I guess, OG apply a little bit more pressure to their eastern
लेकिन
side,
चलो
but
इसको मैं
still
लाइट
to
को ऑन
get to
करता हूँ एक
that
दफा.
point after the first couple of matches is a better thing for them. Obviously, we talk about slow starting teams, and they are one of them, but I do believe that coming into like the next match, we're probably going to see them a little bit more active. I mean, they need to be a little bit more active in that, but to get to that, I guess, spot that they have, it's a lot better than the previous match.
It is, and one team that was able to.
ओ भाई अरोरा का बंदा पीछे बैठा हुआ.
Finally being able to wake up, Max. None other than 4 thrives getting 8 eliminations this last match. Good to see. Finally, good to see it. Especially a lot of those eliminations actually secured on 2 teams that were interesting. You had Team Flash a little bit early on in that game too. That was fun to see how they won that little bit of an encounter. Huzaifa in particular, he carried that fight from start to finish. Really good numbers from Huzaifa. But they had a very good early rotation, and you could say a bad rotation from Nongshim Red Force, where they catched them off guard. They didn't expect to clash next to Potato Hill. And you know 4 thrives, right, Nipchura? If they can take a fight and you are in a weakened state, they're going to chase you down until the edge of the earth, and that's what they did. And Nongshim Red Force took a massive L there. So 4 thrives, if you know where they're going to rotate, I would try and avoid them because they don't like having neighbors around them.
No, they don't. And even in this sort of state
Welcome
of
everyone,
seeing them of
welcome.
just kind of indecision. I think they
Wake
don't
up
really
to
know
the
what's
reality.
going on. But it is nice to see that they're still a threat even in this state, and it's just been really difficult for me to watch 4 thrives because I'm used to a very confident team that knows exactly what they're doing at all times, and I can tell that they're not sure what's wrong, why this isn't really happening. There's a little bit of the old spark there in this last
यार जो भी
game, but I
देख रहा है
think
जरा
really
लाइक
it's
कर
just
दो और
indecision.
जरा
They're
कमेंट करना एक
hesitating
दफा
just
आप.
too much.
Didn't you say like something about T24 going out a lot early
जो
recently?
भी देख रहा है कमेंट करना.
Really early, yeah, and he's one of the big
Match
fraggers. He's
start
really
होने वाला है.
up and coming as a big fragger for the team, so for him to go out early, yes, Huzaifa is able to clutch. But, you know, T24, they need a fourth player. They need somebody like him on that squad to just stay alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, T24 was able to start slow during groups as well. Then he was able to pick it up.
T24.
But right here in the finals, you don't want to be starting slow. So that's one team we'll definitely be looking to see bounce back. One team that has been really consistent, especially with eliminations. We talked about it earlier, Lace, is none other than Tiamba. Tiamba just keeps putting
Tiamba
up
bhai
those
bahut level
eliminations
kar
in a
rahi hai.
big
Tiamba
way.
They absolutely have, and I also want to add into that, like, keeping up those sort of eliminations. It's also E-Arena. Like, we sort of like look at these two powerhouse squads, and we're gonna have to get a mashup with these two teams because they are making it in those top 5 positions. They are clearing their space. They're grabbing the eliminations along the way. Even in a fight where I think it was Nigma Galaxy could have pushed E-Arena a lot earlier in their position, but for whatever reason, I'm sure Max will cover it, they didn't sort of get into that contention, but E-Arena just kept making power plays for the spot that they want. Tiamba is also making those power plays to get the position that they want. And obviously early eliminations, especially in today, is what will capitalize you for going into tomorrow. So this steady, I guess, excel in eliminations has been awesome from both of these squads.
Yeah, especially for E-Arena, right? Remember what we saw out of E-Arena in day 1 of their Group B? They were able to get those 29 eliminations in Rondo, and then after that, they kind of just ended up dying off us. We're actually going to be looking at a comparison between Group Day 1 and also what they're doing here in the finals.
Average elimination bhai
the placement that this team is currently being
8.5 की nice every हर चीज में ये बंदा
are even higher because they have been consistent with those eliminations.
everything में ये जो ईयर आना है ना E-Arena सॉरी ग्रुप स्टेजेस डे 1 के अंदर और फाइनल डे के अंदर इनकी ज़्यादा जा रही है.
The lobby is hard. I'm going to say that it is a very, very difficult lobby, night and day from the group stage, from the survival stage, but they are handling it very well. I do want to say very quickly what I loved about the fight with Four Thrives, right? That dip, the way they use the terrain, because there's a bit of a cliff area there, it's a dip, and then you got those 2 cliffs, and what actually they ended up using is they went off the cliff, back behind Four Thrives, and then used that terrain where they couldn't actually see to move around in front of them as well. So it gave the illusion that they were everywhere at once when really they weren't. And for a team that is slightly struggling like Four Thrives, that was just the death knell. So very well played by EA. Good knowledge of the terrain and great synergy overall.
It was a magic trick almost.
It was. It really was.
Max, there is something that has been pretty much pissing us off when we talk about Erangel, and that is the hot drops that we're seeing between Nigma Galaxy and none other than Ida. It's good for Nigma Galaxy right now, but Ida is just they're just squandering their hopes.
Yeah, I mean, Nigma Galaxy saw what we could do when they can actually get out the hot drop. But here you go, Pachinki, Nigma Galaxy dropping there since the 1990s at this point, and Ida going to be joining up on this one. And initially I was like, okay, Ida, you should not be going for this hot drop. You know as a clear-up fact that Nigma Galaxy will never give up this location. And it's almost getting to the point for me, Niptura, where I'm thinking, Nigma Galaxy, maybe this would be a good opportunity for you to start leaving, because Ida are not just ruining your Erangels, they're ruining your entire tournament run so far.
Yeah, it's really weird, right? Because for Nigma Galaxy, it's like Ida is the newcomers. They need to get out. Clearly, it's not working for them. They have 2 points over the entire day. 1, 2, that's it. But you're right, Nigma Galaxy is ending up ruining their tournament chances as well, because we are seeing really good performances from Nigma. I love how they've been playing, but they're just entering the zone way too late because of Ida.
Yeah, of course, we did say this game was good, right? Because they got out of the hot drop as a 4-man team. They lose a single player. I promise you, they do not get a finish like that. They do not get that many points. So right now, Nigma Galaxy, I would say there are other options available, and I understand it's your drop. You've been there for the longest time, but I do not care at this point which team leaves. One team has to leave. This is a waste of time, and it's making me angry, and I'm just looking at that on the early game.
Can I also just interject here and go, Ida, what are you doing? Because this is a team, remember, that got in through the group stage. They were second in their group. They had a fantastic second day. They won like 3 of the games. They were hyper aggressive. We know this is a team that can play very well, but they're wasting everything on a hot drop 3 times in a row. Again, they have 2 points. You're not gonna win on 2 points.
And teams are starting to notice this is such a waste of time. Like Four Thrives, I think it was on one of the Erangels earlier, Niptura, they like just instantly third party it. And now teams are going around Pachinki waiting for the loot truck to come out, because they know no one is going to get that loot truck, because they're so focused on that clash between Nigma Galaxy and Ida. Of course here, big respect, by the way. Nigma Galaxy, the smokes and the way they started pushing these solo players, that was very well executed. But one mistake, one slight error, and you lose a player, and instantly your chances of a win dwindle to almost nothing.
Well, we know exactly what happened when Four Thrives joined the party, right? Nigma Galaxy lost a couple of players, and then we didn't really see them in that game. They went out fairly early on. They had to full send. Game one, they had to full send to the beach and just kind of stay there. There was no opportunity for them to get any points whatsoever. So, yeah, for Nigma, this is bad on both sides. I'm mad at Ida for initiating this every single game, but Nigma need to figure out how to adapt to this.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to adapt to this. If I had to pick one team to stop hot dropping in Pochinki, it wouldn't be Nigma, because Nigma has been getting the better end of this, especially they showcased what they were able to do in the last match. They're getting the eliminations too, so Nigma Galaxy, keep on doing your thing. If you're Ida, get the heck out of town. You need to find a different spot. But when we're talking about someone, you're gonna pretty much see here just the finish of this engagement between these squads. You know what, Max, Lace, who would you want to see just give up this hard drop between Nigma and Ida?
It's got to be Ida, right? Like
It has to be.
Like they're not even getting any further into the late game. They should have just made the decision to sort of rotate from this position. I mean, you know, I was kind of touching on, I think, Nigma Galaxy a little bit later into the zone, how they're making slow decisions. But again, this is slowing their decision. But Ida just,
Look, by the way, look on the left side of your screen. While they're still in their looting stage, technically, right? So hot drop's a bit weird, it's a bit different. You have Nongshim Red Force fighting Four Thrives on their first rotation after the looting stage. This is, look, even here, you have to fight Orangutan fighting Ulf. So everything is happening in the game. Teams are not going to wait for you. And while that's happening, you're still in your initial drop location and you have no scouting done. The loot truck, you can see on the left side of your screen, he came back for round two. Round two, and the fight is still not done. What are we doing?
It's okay, Max.
This is Picado red buildings all over again. It's really annoying. It's Picado red buildings all over again, Max. I mean, we get so mad at that hot drop, and we still have the Miramars to go. So if either of you hot drop red building Picado, I am going to come over to your table, and I'm going to
moonwalk.
Be aggressive. Yes, I'm going to moonwalk.
Look, okay.
I'm going to hee-hee at you.
TLDR.
Very aggressively.
TLDR for the entire segment. We don't like it. End of story.
Unless you're Nigma Galaxy. Nigma Galaxy currently in third place. You have E-Arena right now in first place with 48 points. Tiamba continuing on those consistency of eliminations. This is the main story for Tiamba right now. 45 points, 37 coming from the Elands. And if we start going down, we are seeing one team that has been going down as the day has been going on. And it's none other than Aurora, Max.
Yeah, unfortunately, I still have not seen the comeback of Doc, right? I would even take the dockening at this point. I would be like, I want to see something come out of it. But yeah, they've definitely been slowing down quite significantly. Keep in mind, they've got 11 placement points, sure, but they got second place on the first rondo. That's 6 placement points. After that, the rest of the day is only 5 placement points after 3 Erangles back to back to back. Quite disappointing, especially when it's just outside of Ferry Pier. I was expecting way more. They're slipping down, and especially when Ulf now, they just got a 4-man finish. You know, Ulf are going to be chasing for that podium spot.
I mean, for me, I'm not too worried about Aurora right now. They've had a good start to the day or start to the finals, and we do know that this is a team that really waits until the last minute to actually do something. They just do just enough to stay ahead. But the problem is when you're seeing teams like Ulf, like Vitality, we haven't even seen Vitality at their best yet. You know, teams like this that are going to be coming up and gaining that momentum as the days go on, Aurora are going to get left behind pretty quickly.
So you are worried or you're not worried?
I'm on the fence as of right now. At the end of the day, I'll be a bit worried.
Okay, because you say I'm not worried, and then you started sounding very worried to me.
I'm not too worried.
It started to sink in. She's like, oh, actually, this isn't looking too good.
She just kept saying more teams, and I'm like, okay. That sounds like you're contradicting yourself here. Four Thrives ends up finding themselves here in the first page, but going here towards the second page, we really haven't seen much lays out of S2G. With Furia, it's been a hit of a miss, and then we got some of the other squads there.
S2G are getting busy, right? But they are sort of like losing the contests on these fights. They're able to get the placement points. It's been great. Chicken dinners are coming through, but it's kind of like more of a gifted scenario in a lot of segments. But you've heard me about Fury, guys. I'm not going to go on about that. But what
driver's license,
I won't carry on about that. But look, I even just want to touch on Vitality. We didn't really get to talk about them. They are playing incredibly scared. So Neptura, after your sort of worried statement, I am also worried in that sense, because even in that final zone there, they had the western side to sort of scoop up behind Nigma Galaxy, and they did nothing.
Yep. One team that I want to see more out of, especially towards that second page, is none other than Godlike. And I would love to see the player stats so far today, because this is a team that a lot of people were expecting to actually finish pretty high. And it has to come with the fragging power of S-Power. And right now, for S-Power to give him a break, he is the only one that's performing for the squad, being able to average at least one. But the rest of the squad is just not looking good.
It's looking pretty bad in terms of eliminations, and the reason why the eliminations are so low is look at their survival time. They're not even breaching the 20, and some of the players not even the 18-minute mark, which is not good in a lobby of this caliber if you want to be contending for that, let's say, top 5 situation right now. So Godlike, even looking back on this game, they should have pushed up onto, I think it was Ulf's compound, but they got very idle, because the thing is, compared to the group stage where some teams might do mistakes and you might be able to weasel your way in, here you have to take fights head on if you want to have a chance to get very late into those games, get those placement points. Godlike, in a lobby like this, you cannot be hesitant. We've seen in your group stage, you have that raw fragging power from S-Power, from Admino, even Somme. And Manya is a great IGL, but you need to utilize it and take your chances.
Yeah, what I've noticed is Manya is making like these sort of scouting power plays, but the rest of the team is not supporting him, which they're getting caught out. So, I mean, it's surprising to sort of see that level that they're at right now, because Manya is making incredible decisions, but it looks like a few other sort of on the team are just kind of tunnel visioning into the wrong direction, and then that's when they're getting caught in.
Yeah, I think also one thing that we really need to think about, or they need to think about, is it seems like they keep going for positions that put them in a position to have to fight teams head on, and they're not succeeding in winning those fights. So if you want to make sure that you're actually going to get a position and be in there in the late game, you know, if you know that you're not really fragging out against these squads in the finals, then stop putting yourself in these tight positions in between teams that mean you have to frag your way out of them. Play a little bit more like Vitality, the way that they're on the edge. Enigma Galaxy as well, they're on the edge. They try to just wait out other teams, take a fight here or there, but just survive and keep their players for later.
Survive. That's the name of the game, all right? Just survive. It's so easy. Why don't you do it, Godlike? Actually, I believe they'll be able to turn it around. It is their first time here in the finals international event for a lot of its players. S-Power, I'm still proud of you, brother. You're still putting up the numbers, and I think you're going to do even more as the day goes on, as the days do end up going on. But for right now, let's send it over to none other than the stylish man, Blank, and our special reporter, Kalaris.
Yes, yes, the stylish man and the short man. I get it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We've got ourselves Mr. Blank here to talk about everything.
Oh, you're
that's
my
been going
special
on.
little reporter, aren't you?
Right, yeah. I'll try my very best to rise to the occasion.
My special little man here on the stage here.
Shut up and go away. All right, we've got Tiamba to talk about as well, of course, as they have looked stellar in terms of their positioning and how they've been playing these games out, Blank.
Yeah, they have been really, really good. I'm so sorry. I do love you, bro. But honestly, there has been moments where the decision-making has been fantastic. I think that the way that they are speedily going to sometimes their demise is actually astonishingly good, right? Because I think me and Jackie were talking about this. I don't know if you'd agree, but there are times where they'll make what feels like the best decision in a bad moment, right? Where a lot of teams would just stand by and probably get naded and be like, oh, it's over.
Well, Circles haven't been kind to them, so they've been able to kind of fight against some of that adversity. And I think that when you watched as QZZ was able to get MVPs on international stages this year alone, I think a lot of people, including Max and some pundits, etc., wanted extra people to be able to step up to the plate alongside him.
Sure.
Milu's been able to do that like twofold, which has been really phenomenal to watch so far.
Milu's been amazing.
Yeah.
Milu's been really, really good. It's fantastic to see. I mean, you were talking about it was FMVP for PMI, where he was able to get 39 eliminations, over 7,000 damage for QZZ. But yeah, they have balanced the load in a big way. I think it's a really, really nice thing as well seeing A-King, because it very much reminds me of the way that Alpha 7 used to play. They're not playing now.
Ignore that bit.
Ignore that bit. Let's just put that to the side for the time being. But yeah, A-King's kind of like the Revo of the team. He plays forward, he plays shotgun for the team. Milu's just very good in those clutch moments. And yeah, the load is spread out very, very evenly across the squad. Eagle is also a great survivalist. I think they have all the tools necessary to actually honestly win this at this point.
As you're talking, you're getting further away. Come back. It's fine. No. Okay,
where's
so
my box?
The thing is that I think when you look at Tiamba's performance so far, and we can wrap it up on this and move on to our next team, is that double chicken dinner that they got at the start of survival stage, huge revitalization for them to be able to get themselves
Lazarus moment
back on the road again and actually push to be able to find themselves in this state that they're in right now. What do you think?
Yeah, very, very good. I do think that that's what they needed, because the confidence came through. Every time I look down at Milu on the stage, right, it's very...
I like Milu.
I do like Milu. It's very heartwarming because there's... I like it when players are enjoying themselves, and Milu definitely enjoys himself. He's one of the smiliest guys I've seen. QZZ is a little bit more serious, I would say, other than the winning moments where, you know, he almost breaks his fingers on the high fives. That was funny. But I do think that for Milu, it's just nice to see a guy who's so good at the game, but also very much is passionate and enjoys his time in it. And he should be, because he's having an unreal run.
All right, let's move on to another team then, as we have Ulf, who has looked, I would say, towards some of these latest moments, pretty good as well. Obviously, they qualified off the back of having that last game survival win, which was extremely important for their campaign as a whole. And they are one of the teams that a lot of people thought was going to be able to attain those top spots. Right now, their space control is looking good, especially in this last game.
Yes, very much so. I mean, I'm one of those believers. I'm an Ulf believer. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that Eren is one of my favorite players. Ketch also from way back when, MVP in PMPL Season 1 Spring.
He's not quite as old as me, but he is pretty old. He goes way back.
He's old, yeah, but he's still got it in him. He's got the grizzled beard. He's a grizzled warrior, but he looks good. And I think that for Ulf, though, that last game was fantastic for me in particular, because we were talking about it backstage, right? And I said, if Ulf wins this game, I want to talk about them. But it was nice for me to be in like stage 6 and really believe in Ulf to actually win the game that they should be winning if they make the necessary movements, which was to take out Tiamba and slowly corral the rest of the squad. So the fact that they did one, kind of a prideful moment for me, because I was like, get in, lads. This is fine. You've got it.
And you liked your prediction.
I did, yeah. Also, I was quite chuffed about myself. Yes, that is right. Okay, 50-50.
Yeah, okay.
Great job, lads. Great job, me.
I think as well, you know, controlling that compound, it actually has great lines of sight on the south side. Any vulnerability normally comes from the north, which actually didn't really exist in that game due to the way the circles were shifting. So they had to turn all their attention to the east as the next main threat. And I think you're right. They prioritize those threats very well from a compound like that. So good stuff by Ulf so far. And let's turn our attention as well to E Arena, who has looked... It's funny because I'm a little bit conflicted by what Arena's been putting up so far. Because even in this last game, I really appreciate the wide wraps that they're doing, but Fourth Thrive's had like almost zero opportunity to be able to react to the snowball coming down the hill and, you know, crushing them all. It was tough.
It was tough. I mean, Arena is just a strange team right now where I'm not sure if they're really good at the game or very lucky, which even they, I don't think, are very sure about this point in time. I remember a time when Schweppes, you know, was sweeping aside the competition. But again, I think E-Arena just hasn't quite hit that full stride yet. But they do have the massive potential, Kale.
He's been able to win twice on the stage in the past, Schweppes, with, of course, Vampire in the past. But anyway, thank you very much, Blank, for joining me here down on the stage. It is time to head on over to Glitter with an update.
Because there's a lot going on in chess today, and a lot of it is very CC heavy. So talk us through what's been going on.
So currently the game going on behind us at the moment is Magnus Carlsen, the tournament favorite, playing for Team Liquid against Nahal Sarin for SAUL.
Okay.
So pretty big game, mainly for Team Liquid. You know, SAUL have popped up across a few games, but not really near the top of the leaderboard. So Team Liquid, I'm not going to pretend like they're near the top at the moment either, to be honest with you.
Fair.
They're probably lower down than SAUL at the moment, but they're expected to get a win here this weekend, considering Magnus Carlsen being the chess player that he is. And he is up 2-0 at the moment as well. So even if he gets one more draw through the next 2 games, he'll be progressing to the semi-finals. Earlier today, we had the first quarterfinal, which was Denis Lazovic playing against the Na'Vi representative, and he managed to get a win. So that's huge for AGL as well, considering they're trying to keep the top of this leaderboard. They pretty much need to outperform Falcons, which in itself, you know, it sounds kind of doable, but then you realize they've got 2 players. One of them's already progressed through, and Ali Reza Farouja's kind of playing now and beating his opponent as well.
Okay.
So Hikaru Nakamura already through to the semi-finals, which lines up a Hikaru Nakamura versus Denis Lazovic, AGL versus Falcons in the semi-final.
I mean, to be fair, Denis was trying to almost preempt the when he was practicing, putting the key into the trophy yesterday. So, you know, maybe that's a good omen?
I mean, the thing is, he was literally putting his opponent's key that he'd beaten in the winning trophy. So it wasn't even his own key. He was like knocking someone out and then putting them on a pedestal straight away. But yeah, it's been a good one over here in chess. You know, there's so many club championship storylines that kind of lay on chess at the moment, considering, you know, AGL have been knocked out of PUBG Mobile, have been knocked out of several other competitions as well. So Team Falcons have to be outperformed by AGL if AGL want to keep that top spot. But then again, Falcons are in Rocket League as well. So they're kind of in a great position to go far in the club championship this week.
And of course, already have managed to secure some points being in the top 4. So it's going to be a very close race is what we're hearing right now. And chess is going to be a big impact on just how close that race for the leaderboard is. We actually have way more matches coming up on the rest of the day. So as we have some more updates, we'll check back in with you, Trev. For now, we're going to say goodbye.
Shout out to the amazing Glitter Explosion and the amazing Trav as well for the Club Championship update. But now going back to PUBG Mobile's esports here at PMWC at EWC 26. We got to talk about Aurora. I would love to see Aurora player stats because there is one player in particular that you're not happy with his performance. You're over here like George St. Pierre, Max. You're like, I'm not happy with your performance. That's exactly what it sounds like because for this squad, I mean, they were able to start off hot, but they're just going to keep going down that leaderboard.
Yeah, it's not even just Doc, actually. I feel like I kind of want to see more from Reefus as well. That has kind of like been underperforming a little bit. Even Ziol. Ziol, I can give him a pass because he had some incredible grenades early on Rondo. So sure, maybe it doesn't showcase itself in the stats, but in general, I feel like Ziol has definitely also been pulling his weight. But top, it's been the top show. Getting almost 3 average eliminations per game is crazy in a lobby of this caliber. But it's not enough when only one player's putting up those numbers. Niptura, Doc, Reefus, again, Jolly get a pass, but Doc and Reefus, I want to see those guys doing well here in these coming Miramars.
Oh, absolutely. We know they can offer so much more than they are right now. I also want to give Reefus a half pass as well, because similarly to Ziol, we did see Reefus have some really cool information scouting off angles, like way across certain areas of the zone, really trying to get as much information as possible for his team. So in that regard, yeah, I do feel like he's kind of pulling his weight a little bit, but yes, overall, I do agree with you, Max, that all of them need to really be stepping up to the plate here. 4th place is okay. It's not far behind first, but we just want to see more because we know that they can do so much more.
Yeah, and for me, no pass for Reefus. Okay, Reefus, I expect a lot better from you. You're the only player right now that hasn't gotten one of the international MVPs in that squad, so the pressure is on you, okay? Any passes that I had for him was last year. This is a new year. I want to see more survival time out of him as well, but here we go. We're looking at the overall place. We're talking about Tiamba. We're talking about Flash. We're talking about some of these teams that we need to see more placement points out of.
Yeah, I want to ask Max, if you were to be an embodiment of a coach, you picked Team Flash, right?
Oh, if I wanted to coach a team, which team I would coach?
No, so I think Flash was, wasn't that your...
They're my prediction, yeah.
Yeah, your prediction?
Yeah.
Obviously being 7th place there, not doing terribly, but come on.
23 points behind.
Inner coach, what do you think they need to do to be able to skyrocket up that leaderboard so your prediction is correct?
Oh, it's complicated exactly to pinpoint what's going on with
Tell us,
Flash.
Max.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot right now. I didn't prepare a segment for this. But, no, Team Flash, I feel like...
You thrive on this.
There was one fight that was versus 4 Thrives that I find interesting. That was actually the one that happened last game that eventually was won by Ulf. And I feel like what happened with Team Flash, they got caught off guard and they didn't find a good way to get themselves back up on their 2 feet and get ready for the fight, which under pressure, that is what you need to be able to do. Flash is a great team, right? If they take a fight they're ready for, when they're not ready for it, they just tend to crumble a little bit. So I don't think it's a gameplay issue per se. I feel like it's more of a mindset issue that Flash need to try and resolve.
Yes, we're looking at the second page here. I'm also going to be looking at horror.
यार मैंने अभी नोटिस किया है, I think मेरी वॉइस कम आ रही है, जरा इस चीज का तो मुझे कंफर्म करो कोई.
But right now in the second page, knowing Horror Esports, they're not going to be happy with this performance.
No, they're not. And